Hey guys. Or, sorry, hello party people. I'll remember, I swear, one of these times. And yes, no tap this time because I'm already smoking. And if you can hear the noise off camera, that's, well, I'll show you. There's a fairly significant, I guess we'd call that a storm. I don't really think of it as one. But, yeah, so we'll call this a Thinking Man's Thursday. Because I've been thinking. But, a little close to the camera. But I'm using my phone rather than the tablet I normally use. Yeah, so, been thinking about faith a fair bit, actually, the last few months. And, I think part of the reason I'm having this particular thought discussion debate within myself is looking at the state of the current Anglican Church. I was baptized, raised, and confirmed Anglican before I ended up, let's say, skeptical, and then searching. And now I'm back to skeptical and call myself, and I'm sincere about it, an unconvinced atheist. I simply don't, how to put it, I don't have the ability to put faith in faith. Let's put it that way. And I think part of that is because of the state of the modern church. Now, the last little while I've been thinking about going back to church. I'm in small town Newfoundland, so I mean, the church is not a particularly long distance away. I can walk there. And it would mean changing my schedule on Sundays. I can do that. But one of the big issues I have is I've found that when I tell Christians I'm an atheist, regardless of how I preface it, whether I preface it with sincere or unconvinced or both, there's an immediate polarization of their thinking. It's either I'm a fool or I'm evil because I'm somehow selfish. Those of you who've talked to me or know me in any real degree know very well that I'm not particularly selfish. I do want the best for myself, of course. And I do believe that people should be selfless to a certain degree. I mean, not at your own expense. I don't think damaging yourself to help someone else is actually increasing the amount of positivity in the world. Let's put it that way, just to phrase it in slightly new agey terms. It's getting a little harsher outside. But yeah, the general stance I have is that, having been through the internet skeptic movement and watching quite a lot of the more prominent people in that become, let's say, askeptical in favor of, a lot of the time, leftist ideology, and watching some of the others return to faith, and always having been something of an introspective kind of person, at least since I got sober. Going on 18 years now. Yeah. Yeah, New Year's Eve notwithstanding. 2-drink limit. That's where I sit. Rigid discipline is still an important thing. But, yeah, I've been thinking about going back to church. Weird, but that's the point I'm at. And it's not really a matter of seeking comfort. It's more, maybe it's more about belonging, or fellowship, I suppose. But having grown up in the Anglican Church in a couple of different communities, I saw an awful lot of hypocrisy in people who call themselves Christian. Getting a bit of water inside here as well. I'm going to have to close that door after I finish this. But, yeah. For the record, I'm just waiting for the garbage truck to show up so I can put the dumpster out, get that dumped, put it away, and get back in the house. Ironically, I just stopped myself from swearing. It's interesting given the subject matter. But, yeah. I've been scratching my head a little bit, literally and figuratively, about why I'm even thinking about it. And I think part of it is to see if that same hypocrisy, the backbiting and gossiping and things that I saw when I was younger, to see if that still holds true. I'm very aware that if I go, I will be among the youngest people there, and I'm pushing 50. I'll be 49 this year. And another part of it is loneliness. It's not a lot of fun being 48, single, and having no friends, no real amount of friends close by. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. There's also another thought that occurs to me is, it's an opportunity for service, to give back to the community, as it were. I mean, in the past, I've done things like volunteered at animal shelters, volunteered at a soup kitchen for a winter, things like that. And you can see the camera shaking. That's how windy it is. The entire building I'm sitting in is shaking. But yeah, in the past, I've done volunteer work to feel like I'm being of service, and it was fulfilling. Opportunities are slim in this area for that, so that might be a way to network and find something that'll actually make me feel a little more fulfilled. Who knows? So yeah, that's just, I guess, a bit of personal introspection being shared with the internet today. But to put it into the Thinking Man's Thursday framing, it's never a bad time to be introspective. Whether you have some sort of problem that you want to solve, some sort of personal identity crisis, which is kind of what I'm going through right now, or if it's a case of just curiosity, which is part of that as well. I'm an incredibly curious person. I keep meaning to do a down the rabbit hole sort of internet searching sort of deal. One of the shows I conceived was the idea that, okay, I'll sit down at the computer and type a random search, see where that takes me, and just go from topic to topic to topic, looking at various information I find. Something I did when I was very young, when the internet was very new. And I would lose myself for hours just in information. So, yeah, maybe I'll do that again. But if you're watching this, in the comments, and I will post this to YouTube as well, though YouTube is pretty much an afterthought now for where my content creation goes. Speaking of, I just hit 125 followers on Rumble. Thank you all very much. And that means that in approximately half the time, maybe even less than half the time, that I've been putting effort into Rumble, I'm already at half the follower base that I was on, that I peaked at on YouTube. I peaked somewhere around 251, 252, I believe, before I ended up having to take time away. So yeah, there might be a bit of change coming. Maybe I'll start doing, I don't know, Rabbit Hole Wednesday or something, I'll call it. I don't know. But in the comments, let me know what you think about anything I've talked about. And I thank you all very much for watching. If you want to support me, and I generally forget to do this on my videos, if you want to support me, you can subscribe on Rumble. You can send me a Rumble rant during my live streams. The best way to support me, because you get something physical out of it, is to buy a piece of merch over on my Redbubble. And links for all of that stuff will be down below. Other than that, and I see a slight lull in the weather, so I'm going to make a run for it. I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.